This is a short review of Panel Minus, which is an example application which does basic image acquisition from SLA hardware over network. And there's also some examples of how to do callbacks, especially for track position. So I've run Panel Minus. It's in the SLA Examples project that's downloadable from our website, and you basically compile this whole thing. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the current tracking positions callback. If I go to my Panel Minus, I'm connected. You can see this is a demo video that we're playing. I'm connected. If I go to Control, I can start a track, and this will just start 3 tracks on the image. And because this image is moving, they quickly pan off the screen. So hit Start Track, and you see those 3 boxes, and they go away. The track positions are displayed over on the Connect tab. So I've hit Start Track, and then go to Connect. You can see I have 3 tracks, and as they go off the screen and disappear, my tracks disappear. In a typical scene, you'd start a track on something that would last longer. So let's go ahead and look at the code. So here's SLA Comm Manager in the Panel Minus, and here's the callback current tracking positions. And when this gets called, it returns the number of tracks. So this is this callback is being called even when there aren't tracks, but the number of tracks is 0. So that means we don't have any tracks going, so we don't actually process any of the data. So I'll go ahead and run this. If I bring my start a track and then set my breakpoint, now I can see I have 2 tracks left. Probably one already has disappeared off the screen. And this shows unpacking. This is the unpacking of the tracking positions into an array. And here's the tracking index is 1, the column is -78, and the row is 278. And now if we run it for a while, we can see that our num tracks is 0, and we have no more tracks on the screen. So let's go ahead and search for how this callback current tracking position is enabled. In this init callbacks functions in SLA Comm Manager, we have an array of callbacks based on the FIP message ID, and then we give it a pointer to this callback function. And there's our callback. And this is fairly important as well. When we first connect to the board in Panel Manager code, down here we say add us to the telemetry packet destination and enable coordinate reporting mode. There's several commands that need to be done to set the telemetry packet destination. And there's some flags on here. And then there's also set coordinate reporting mode is how often we send track position. And in this case, because it's debug code and is fairly slow, I set the frame period to every 15 frames a second, or just twice a second. Probably you want to set this value to 1 when you're doing release and get a tracking position callback every frame. And then this is a flag on which telemetry to look at. And this value of 6 says only send me tracking positions, which is the plural when I get multiple tracks for primary, non-primary tracks. And you can look at set coordinate reporting mode in our IDD, and you can see what those flags are. And of course, this also receives network video. So we have this mVideo decoder object that's created. And in Panel Minus constructor, we make a new SLA decode. And there's other code in here to destroy it, to connect signals and slots to it, which are kind of a Qt thing. And when we create the decoder down here, We give it some parameters, especially the new frame callback, and that's how that gets called whenever a new frame comes from the decoder object. So it's a pretty brief overview. I think there's more extensive description in the SLA example EAN on that, but this is a start.